What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, here is a plan I could definitely get behind. If we're looking at the Cowboys and where they are right now, I think they've actually done some good things. And I think some of the players that they brought in are a little bit underrated. And I'm going to say that I think that maybe the coaching staff that we have will get more out of the players. That's the hope, at least. You know, we're all going to go through, everybody goes through with hopes and dreams of players doing great things for us and the coaching staff and stuff. You want the coaching staff to be able to elevate the players and that they have raw talent to work with. And the Cowboys thus far have been selectively aggressive in trying to fill in the needs. The areas that we definitely still may be lacking is the running back position, wide receiver. I'd still like to get some run-stopping defensive linemen. You all know, daily Calais Campbell is a guy that's on my radar and should be for the Cowboys when you look at the numbers. But typically what the Cowboys always do is they go through and they try and fill in the holes with draft picks. And, we have too many holes to be able to fill with the draft. In time, guys get better. You don't have a whole lot of guys that come out and become impact players day one. And we definitely need more experience at wide receiver. Jalen Tolbert, who's telling you he's ready to take that next step and stuff, and maybe he is, but I would like to have somebody out the box that's ready to rock and roll. Now, as we've gone through and we've looked at Cooper Kupp, who got a 3-year, $45 million deal, a $15 million a year deal. And this is a guy whose production has been going down the last 3 years and has had a hard time staying healthy. Even Deebo Samuels. Washington gave up a 5th-round pick and $17 million. And so you're looking at most of the receivers that are out there, Stephon Diggs, who's still recovering with baggage from an ACL. And he's not going to come in for $4 or $5 million. He's going to want big money, as well as most of these guys. Now, here's the thing. As I've gone through and I started looking at, players, what they've done the last couple of years and things, most of them are kind of like guys that are definitely on the tail end of their career that are looking to get that last paycheck. Well, this proposal actually sounds pretty good. This is done by London Holyfield. Cowboys trade proposal would add superstar talent at running back and wide receiver in one move. When I saw that headline, I said, what? Let me see this. You're going to do that in one move? Okay. By trading back, now, of course, trading back is a two-way street. You have to have a team that's willing to trade for you that's looking for something else too. By trading back for Courtland Sutton, the Cowboys secure a true number 2, regain flexibility in the first round, and bring a homegrown star back to Dallas in a win-now push. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Okay, trade back from 12 to 20 and get Courtland Sutton? Okay. What's not to like on that one? Let's go into the article a little bit more. The Cowboys are staring down a wide receiver dilemma they can't afford to ignore, and a homegrown product from Birmingham, Texas, could be the solution. So he's homeborn. Okay. Courtland Sutton, still just 29 years old, entering the final year of his deal, and has been on the Broncos trade block for at least 2 years now, 1 or 2. There's even a bit of a standoff between him and the Broncos last season. Sutton was seeking a pay raise and skipped some of the team's voluntary workouts as a means of protest. Ultimately, he showed up and showed out, logging his second consecutive 1,000-yard receiving season. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Even amongst players questioning marks at the quarterback position. Now, Denver pivoting to a full youth movement around quarterback Bo Nix, it feels like the end is finally near. Yeah. For Dallas, it's an opportunity they couldn't pass up. And COO Stephen Jones is already on the record of a couple of different times of this offseason referring to trades. We're fishing and looking. We're always looking for an efficient move that makes sense from a draft point standpoint. And from a salary cap standpoint, that makes good sense. He's not a developmental flyer, not a gamble. He's a plug and play. And that's what I love. If we look at Courtland Sutton, his numbers from last year, 1,081 yards, 8 TDs, 81 receptions, 13.3 yards per reception. In his career, he's got 5,340 yards. He's 29 years old, and he's a $20 million cap hit for Denver right now. If they make him a trade, moving up, if the Cowboys could work that, they'd save about $7 million on this year's cap, and they would be able to move up in the draft. Sounds like a winner chicken dinner to me. Now, of course, you're going to have to get yourself a new contract for him. Okay, no problem. I'd be good with that. Would you be good with that? The difference of Courtland Sutton is you've got a guy who's the last 2 years has been a 1,000-yard receiver. You still have a first-round draft pick. You've got a legitimate number 2 wide receiver. And, yeah. And at the moment, I don't know what his contract would look like. When you're talking about $15 million for Cooper Kupp and $17 million for Deebo Samuels, neither of which were anywhere close to 1,000 yards, and left you wanting Courtland Sutton, a guy who we've been interested in before. Maybe that could be a draft day trade. I love it. Now, would the Cowboys be able to pull something like that off? Well, that's a different story altogether. It also opens the door to double dip at wideout with names like Luther Burden III, Matthew Golden, if things fall accordingly. The ideal blueprint: a trade back from pick 12 to 20 in exchange for Sutton. The Broncos currently hold pick 20. That drop would still allow Dallas to go after Omarion Hampton while calming the fan base nervous over how high is too high for running back concerns. Of course, trading for Sutton means negotiating a new contract. The front office is already knee-deep in Micah Parsons' extension talks. But if Sutton truly wants to come home and is willing to work the Cowboys financially, it could be a fine match. The Cowboys can't go to the draft out of desperation, and this is true. They've done that before and ended up with the likes of Taco Charlton, Mozzie Smith, Tyler Guyton, and Tristan Hill. If the Cowboys are serious about contending, they can't afford another draft day swing and miss. I love this. Would love this. And we'll see. We'll see if this could happen. Otherwise, it's just another day in Cowboy land.